Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's been months, probably closer to a year, that we haven't really done anything in terms of YouTube, so we are making a return in 2024. We've been obviously super preoccupied, and there's been a bunch of changes that have happened since the last video, where the primary focus that we were working on was mostly dry ice work. Fortunately for us, there has been a little bit of a change in a pivot in the direction of the business, and now we're kind of in the wheel space, or wheel restoration space. So it's a super long story, so I'll try and shorten it because I know I like to waffle. So basically, throughout the dry ice work that we were doing, we were finding that we had a little bit more free time than I guess was economically feasible. You pay for a space and you've got obviously an area in which you want to work in, so you want to maximize what you're doing in that space. Along came the idea of us getting into the space of ceramic wheel polishing, which was a space that was, for the lack of better words, monopolized in Australia. There wasn't a lot of people that were offering this service, and to be honest with you, the alternatives that people had to us before we existed weren't, in our eyes, very financially viable. We wanted to offer something just like with the dry ice, where everybody can have bougie shiny wheels. We believe very firmly in services being a viable thing. If they can be done at a certain price point and the lights stay on and the doors open, then we're happy to provide that service at a price point where everybody can enjoy it. Ended up getting into the ceramic wheel polishing space. We bought a machine and we got into this whole thing entirely unknown. We had no idea what we're getting ourselves into. We had no one to lean on in terms of industry knowledge. It was very much a tight-lipped sort of thing, and nobody was really around to say, hey man, try this, try that, do this, do that. We had to learn that on our own. So there was a lot obviously had to be taken on. There's a lot that we had to do, a lot of research and development that we had to do alongside with what we were already doing. Naturally, when you're going into a thing that you have no idea about, the only thing you can do is try as many different things and try and lean in on people that potentially might have some knowledge that will help with it. Unfortunately for us, there wasn't a lot of people that were in this space or specialists that were in refinishing and things like that relative to aluminium wheels. So we had to spend quite a bit of time figuring things out on our own, what chemicals we were going to be using, the preparation time that's involved, and a bunch of other things that were relative to the process in itself. There's a number of people doing this in the States, and there's quite a few people that are doing it in Europe as well. And obviously they have their own formulations, they have the research and development that they've done, so it's ultra tight-lipped. There's no way to get any information about it, particularly when people are looking to stay at a certain price point. They want it to have some sort of mystique. They want it to have some sort of, bespoke finish. And so then in that case, a lot of people will stay tight-lipped about what they're doing, and they're not really welcoming to other people into the industry. For the lack of better words, or for the way that things worked out, that kind of turns us on, because we prefer going into a situation not knowing what's going on and then being able to figure it out on our own, and then kind of stand on our own 2 feet and do things the way that we want to do them. Our process is quite involved, as it is with everybody else that does this, and obviously at some point throughout this, the new YouTube content coming through this year, we'll try and give you guys a little bit more insight as to what's happening, how it works, what it is, and then we'll try and educate you guys as much as we can as to what's going on. Everybody's budget is different, and obviously we want to be able to cater to everybody that wants to have this and wants to be able to rep some really, really nice wheels without having to spend 10 grand. So in order for us to be able to do that, obviously there's certain things that affect the price point and how much work goes into these wheels. So we'll do a little bit more in terms of, the process and what we're doing, and I'll show you guys a little bit more about, start to finish. Today, I just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys, because it's been ages. There has been a little bit of feedback through Instagram and stuff like that you guys wanted to see a little bit more YouTube, so here I am, back again. Just wanted to kind of run through what's going on, what's changed in the shop, and to be honest with you, what's in the shop hasn't changed that much. Obviously, going into the wheel space, there's a huge difference in what we've got, and there's obviously quite a bit of change here, as you can see, the machines down the back, a couple of process related things. But relative to, the cars and stuff like that, everything's still the same. Simon's Chaser is out getting painted, so we've got a Kazama body kit going on that. We got a bunch of cool things that's happening with Simon's Chaser. There's been a few changes with that as well. So XT7s, which we'll be polishing to kind of round it off. There's a super nice color that he's painting it in. There was originally a particular BMW color he was going to paint it in. I absolutely frothed it. He liked it as well, but there has since been a change. So there'll be an update on Simon's Chaser and what color he's going to paint it as soon as we figure out when it's actually going to be painted. So that could be a while, it could be a couple of months, it could be a couple of weeks, we're not entirely sure. We kind of just left that as it was. The car can get painted. We're super ultra busy heading into Black Label. We've got a bunch of work that we've got on at the moment. For those that obviously don't know, or any international viewers, Black Label Invitational is this enormous car show. When I say enormous, it's enormous in a figurative and in an actual scale. It's one of our biggest scene shows in Australia, and this time it's held in the Melbourne Convention Centre. To give you a perspective on how big the show is, it has to be held at a convention centre this year, just because the show's kind of grown over the years. Ray's done an amazing job with Black Label. He's brought it up to a level where, you know, the quality of cars that are going into this show, second to none. Everything's ultra creative. You know, everybody has their own style, and there's obviously a lot of trends that happen in the industry, but we're seeing a lot of those being broken up and things like that. So Black Label Invitational is huge. So part of that is people going into that with, you know, wheels where they want their wheels to look a little bit different. And everybody powder coats, everybody paints. Going into a complete ceramic polished finish is definitely holding an edge on some of the more traditional finishes that we see on builds. So going into that, we've got a bunch going on. We've now got a website, we've got a booking space and a retail space that we're all working on. We're kind of moving into a retail space to offer people certain things such as hardware, lips, barrels. We're also selling our rollers, which are super bougie. They've been made alongside with one of our very good friends, Toby, and we're making an affordable solution to some of these wheel rollers to help you guys build your wheels. We obviously do everything in-house. We paint, we powder coat, well, not in-house per se, but we offer everything relative to paint, powder coating, ceramic polishing, rebuilds and speccing and all that sort of stuff that you guys might need. So we do all of that in-house. We have also come to know our customer really well, and a lot of people actually take enjoyment out of building their own wheels. We're now offering it in a retail space, which is still under construction, so probably by the time you see this video, it may or may not be done. I'm not sure yet. There's obviously quite a bit going on, but we will have lips, barrels, valves, hardware. We're going to have female bolts as well. So all you VSKF, GTC lovers out there that don't want to put the wrong bolts in your wheel, we will have female ones. We are working on getting them in certain colors as well to kind of match factory finishes like GTCs and stuff, which have black female heads. All of that is kind of happening in the background and relative to what we've got going on here. So it kind of seems out of chronological order to kind of show you guys what we've got going on. I thought I'd give you guys an insight as to what's happening over here, what's going on with Charlie and Simon, why haven't they put up anything on YouTube, why does Charlie now have hair? It's the opposite for me. When I stress, I grow hair. A bunch of cool stuff going on at the moment. We've got some BRS Poisons, which are an old school work wheels, so they're probably a 40-year-old wheel that we've put together. That's one of the cars that's going into Black Label. We've also got some Workmeister M1 three-piece wheels that are also going into the show. These things look absolutely amazing, fully polished barrel, fully polished lip, fully polished face, chrome hardware. They look absolutely stunning. Aside from that and stuff that isn't relative to the show timeline, we've got a set of BBS RSs that we're going to rebuild and reseal. We've got a set of TR7s. Monoblock work wheels always come up the business. They look really, really good, so we're working on a set of those. We've also got a set of NK RPF1s, the ultra classic, and in my opinion, still a timeless wheel, but that might have something to do with my age. We've got a set of VSKFs that we're polishing, and then we've got a set of fronts that we're going to be building as well. Else is up here, as you can see, obviously we've got an enormous array of wheels. We get to work on some pretty crazy stuff. One of one turd, well, not one of one, but super ultra rare BBS RSs, so BBS for Toyota, so they were the Sora and MA70 Supra factory option, so they've got the Toyota gel cap, super cool, super rare. R31 silhouette wheels that we'll be polishing. We've got center lines, which are obviously huge here in the Australian drag scene. We've got Mercedes-Benz Alphas that we're going to be repairing and doing. NB MX-5, which had a polished wheel option, so we're replicating a set of polished wheels for a customer as well, alongside with our own bits and pieces throughout as well. We've got some Hinterdeck sterns there, 18 by 9.5 that we will be ceramic polishing, so they're going to look absolutely mega. We've also got some GT5 SPs. They were a three-piece wheel that were ordered in an anodized finish. They didn't look that good, so we then did a full ceramic polish, and then we also had the hardware replated, and now it has this really cool like rainbow harlequin sort of effect on the hardware, and they look mega. Although it's not all just ceramic wheel polishing, wheel building and all the rest of it. We are still doing dry ice. We are still doing a volume of dry ice at the moment as well. In fact, we've got some stuff teed up for today. We've got a RB30 manifold that we're going to dry ice restore. We also have a set of ultra rare, super bougie JDM spec DC2 type bar headlights that we're going to be doing a little bit of restoration on up top. As for the workshop, it's all very much of a muchness. We still have the 2 chasers are still here, so if you want to buy them, please buy them because we need the space. Fortunately, what some people might be curious about, the E28 is still here. The E28 is still here, albeit still having a little bit of an idle problem. We've since done the water pump, a couple of other maintenance things, but it wouldn't be a BMW if it didn't just have random, unprompted, unreasonable intermittent issues. And most importantly, as is the Roadster. So the Roadster has kind of not really done a lot of work, man. It's kind of been chilling out. We haven't really had much of an opportunity to get it out and what have you. I did have it out over the weekend. That's why it's somewhat clean. The Star Sharks. So one of our very good friends, Daniel Moldritz at JDM Parts Ruprecht, he is the ultimate plug for all things Japanese. We were able to get Star Sharks from him, a little bit with them. I would like to kind of revisit them and rework them at some stage, so we'll probably build those up, give him some ultra juicy spec to fill out those guards a little bit nicer. Outside of that, obviously there is the Blue Beast, which is down the back. Very, very unfortunately, I haven't had much of an opportunity to do too much with it. The engine is still out. It is still with Jason Kenny at LS1 Power. Fortunately for us, I think that's going to be tied up by the end of the month. So we could have the engine back in that, have that thing running again. Still a little bit to do with it. We've got to register the car and all the rest of it once it gets back on the road, but super excited about getting that back. So that's basically the update going into 2024. I know this is kind of a long watch sucky video that doesn't really show you a great deal other than some of the bougie wheels we're working with, but I just wanted to get something in there for the start of the year because if I don't film and I don't edit, none of these episodes are going to happen. The workload has changed enormously for us, so please bear with us. We will be making videos as often as we can, giving you guys a little bit more of an insight as to what's actually going on. There is obviously a lot to know about the wheels and what we do, so we'd love to share that with you guys because you guys are the best. But otherwise, if there's anything in particular that you actually do want to know about that we can go into with the process, please leave a comment in the video below. Let us know what is it that you want to know about. Otherwise, everything's on our Instagram. Check out our website at www.rsrworks.com.au. Thanks again for making time to come and watch this video because you really didn't have to. So we appreciate it. We will have more content coming out for you. We will be having more things happening as well.